All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are our first 5 vocabulary words of the year. You can find them on pages 1 through 4 of your Vocab Energizers book. And so let's start with herculean. Herculean is an adjective, and it's actually based on the character Hercules from Greek mythology. You can see in your reading that Hercules atoned for his sins, basically, by accomplishing 12 superhuman tasks known as the labors of Hercules. And so when someone does something that seems almost impossible, they're showing a lot of strength, a lot of effort in the face of difficulty. They would be described as acting in a Herculean manner. A lot of times, though, Herculean actually refers to whatever action they're doing. So you might call it a Herculean task, a Herculean effort that they gave, something like that. All right, your next word is bowdlerize, and this means to remove or change parts considered vulgar or immoral. Notice that it is a verb, but if you add ed at the end, it can become an adjective. Okay, so you could say something like, the book that you're reading is a bowdlerized text, and that would mean that it's been censored in some way. This is not really a positive connotation. If you bowdlerize something, you're not only being, as it says in the book, deprived of the pleasure of the reading, but also of the literary quality or even the historical truth of it. Okay, so this is some kind of text or work that's had things taken out of it because somebody deemed it inappropriate. Okay, so censorship, basically. Your third word is pandemonium, and it's a noun. It literally means all demon. Pan means all, and then of course you can actually see the word demon in it. So this one should be easy to remember, because if you had all the demons kind of coming into a situation, it would be utter and complete chaos, okay? And our definition is utter confusion or wild uproar. You would often observe pandemonium. A crowd might create pandemonium. An announcement might create pandemonium. Say that Dr. Martiri came over the loudspeaker and said, from now on everyone has to wear really strict uniforms. That might create pandemonium in the hallways, something like that. Number 4 is pander. It means to play up to another's desires and weaknesses. It is a verb, and it has a negative connotation. Oftentimes you'll hear something about pandering to our greed, pandering to lust. A politician or a famous rock star might pander to a crowd, which basically means that that person will do whatever the crowd wants, no matter the moral implications of it. If it's a politician, a lot of times that means that they're telling the voters whatever they want to hear, regardless of whether or not it's true, just so they'll get elected. And finally, number 5 is quixotic, and this comes from the world-famous novel Don Quixote. Don Quixote is a character who has a huge imagination and thinks that he can complete Herculean tasks, to go back to our first word, but they're very unrealistic. So you can read some examples of what Don Quixote does in that section there, but an example for us might be, say I decided that I want to read 100 books in the next month, but I still have my kids at home, I still have to work, so really that would be a quixotic aspiration, meaning that it would be idealistic, it would be something that would be great if I could attain it, it's a very positive thing, but it's probably unrealistic and not going to happen. All right, these are your first 5 words. Please practice saying them. I'll say them through once now, so if you want to pause it after I say them, and so that you can use them in class. Number 1, herculean. Number 2, bowdlerize. Number 3, pandemonium. Number 4, pander. Number 5, quixotic.